So we're going to talk a little bit about Gmail and the future of Gmail. And my name is Peter Moriarty. If you don't know, I am the founder and the CEO of IT Genius. We are a small business technology concierge service. And so what a business does is we help small business owners with their tech. So that might be helping you set up your Google Drive and your Googly Docs and getting everything sorted and your emails synchronized. It might be setting up a CRM system or a customer management system so you can manage your relationships with your customers. It may be helping you with a cloud-based phone system so you can get your work done. But most of our customers are small to medium-sized business owners, and they need a bit of help with their tech. So no matter where you are in the world, we can help out, as long as you don't mind working in the Australian time zone. But we're all about small businesses, and we're actually the #1 Google partner across Australia and New Zealand, which is pretty cool. I think just for small businesses, but by the number of licenses that we have under management, we're Google's top partner, which is pretty groovy. We've been in business 11 years, and we really love helping small businesses get a little bit more productive with their tech. So what we're going to be talking about today is Gmail and how Gmail is evolving as a business application. I'm going to share a couple of my predictions for Gmail and also some hot tips on the newer versions of Gmail that are being rolled out. There's some updates that are coming out to Gmail, and they're kind of consolidating some of the other apps from their business ecosystem like Hangouts and Chat. I'm going to talk a bit about those, and I'm going to let you know why you should be spending more time in your inbox. I didn't think I'd ever say that, but I have been over the last week really switching how I use Gmail, and I've been working with it very differently to how we've been teaching in the past. So if you're a business owner and you're using G Suite currently, or you're considering using G Suite, then this is going to be interesting and hopefully informative for you. So let's talk about email and how email is changing. Gmail is evolving and email itself is evolving. You guys are probably beginning to see and understand that we're doing business in very different ways. Now, COVID has come and changed the way that we work and where we work, but how we work has been changing for a lot longer. And the reason I say that is we've been changing how we communicate over time, and many times over, we've gone through revolutions in how we communicate. If you think about how businesses first got business done, they'd be in person, flying about the country, putting a contract in someone, and you'd get them to sign it face to face, right? And then we started using things like faxes, and we would fax orders. I mean, not me, I'm Gen Y, right? I'm 31 years old, but businesses used to use faxes for actually doing business. And I remember my dad's a builder, and he'd get faxes from suppliers, or he'd send off fax orders to someone else. And when I worked in a job, I had one official job for 1 year when I was 19 years old. It was a very small business, small office. And in that job, I had to sometimes send faxes to suppliers to order goods. Then we transitioned to email, and we started doing more and more over email. But some things are starting to come next. Now, in the business world, our technology is increasingly driven by consumer technology. And what I mean by that is, as consumers, we are using the Facebooks, we're using the Twitters, we're using the LinkedIns, we're beginning to interact with our technology in new and exciting ways. But we then go to work, and if we have to take a step backwards with our technology, we get a bit uncomfortable with that, particularly for the millennials and the Gen Xers, especially the Gen Ys as well, who grew up with smartphones. We are expecting that our business technology is going to be as easy to use as our consumer technology, but that's not always the case. So we are using Instagrams and Snapchats, and we're jumping into WhatsApp and sending voice notes to each other, and we start to get a bit miffed when we can't do the same thing in our business applications. Think about how you communicate with your family. Maybe you're chatting on Facebook Messenger, maybe you've got like a group chat for the family. Most families, I think, have one of those these days. And you're sending videos, you're sending GIFs, you're having a fun time, maybe you're jumping on video calls here and again. And then you go to a work setting and you open up your email inbox, and it's a very formal way of communicating. Dear so-and-so, here is my email proposal, kind regards, hope you're well, blah, blah, right? And it's such a formal way of communicating that I think businesses are starting to get a little bit tired of it. And if you're a business owner or a consultant and you've had customers hit you up on Facebook, or you've had someone send you a direct message on Facebook, or you've had someone tag you in a post on Facebook, or you've had someone do an introduction on Facebook instead of an introduction on email, you will know that the way that we're actually communicating and doing business is rapidly changing. So what does that mean for business? What does that mean for the way that we're actually working? Does that mean that email is disappearing? Well, I don't think email is going to completely disappear. But what I do think is going to happen is email's probably eventually going to go the way of fax or formal written letters, right? it'll be there and it won't disappear completely, but it'll be maybe used by governments, it'll be used for more formal communications, and it'll not really be used that much anymore for how we get our day-to-day business done. Now, what's the reason for that? Well, it's because the way that we work as consumers is driving how we want to work as businesses. As humans, we want to communicate, and we want to do that frictionlessly. And what that means is that we want to take the easiest route. And I know that when my customers have an issue and they haven't escalated it well enough through my team, which I've been dealing with one in the last 24 hours, if our customers are not able to get great service from my team, what do? They hit me up on Facebook. And it pisses me off, right? Because it's like, damn, they're like hitting me up on my socials, and this is not what I want my social personal inbox to be. I don't want my customers in there, but that's the way that people want to communicate as humans. So there's an important lesson there, not only for the way that we communicate internally, but also what do we provide for our customers? What services do we allow for our customers? Now, I've got a really interesting story. As I was traveling about the Philippines a year or so ago, I was helping my partner to actually set up a shop space, a retail space. And we needed to buy some mirrors, and we had to go to a glass supplier, right? And we go to an industrial area in Davao, and we go and find the glass supplier, right? Now, this is middle of nowhere. There's, hashtag Philippines, the streets aren't like super clean, and the warehouse is a complete mess, and you can hardly walk in the door. I mean, it's probably pretty common for any industrial area or anywhere in the world, right? But we walk into this shop and there's no signage on top. There's no way of really knowing what the business is or what's going on there, apart from the glass everywhere, right? Sheets of glass everywhere, and you're crunching on glass on the floor. And we asked for a quote for a couple of mirrors for this shop fit out. And rather than the shopkeeper asking us to send the dimensions via email or via text or to write them down, they said, send us a message on Facebook. Send us a message to their business Facebook page. And what I've learned, not only in the Philippines, but in many other parts of Asia, I've traveled a lot through China as well, is that businesses are more interested in doing business on social platforms than they are through traditional means. And by traditional means, I mean either in person or on the phone or via email, or even bothering to have a website. This business literally had a hole in the wall warehouse, didn't even have signage, didn't have anything else apart from a Facebook page to interact with that business. Now, am I saying that you should completely ditch email? No, that's probably not going to happen. But I think the thing that's really interesting to take from that is that our consumer technology is going to continue to drive our business technology. And what I want to put forward to you is, how can you adapt to that? Now, think about, if you're in Australia and you want to book in your car at your mechanic, do you think you could message the Facebook page of your mechanic and book in your car for a service? I tried it, and they're not a small mechanic, it's Midas. And I tried messaging them and saying, hey, do you mind if I book my car in at this location on this day? And I just didn't get a response from them. And so think about how you may be able to shift how you're doing business and provide a radically different customer experience by taking advantage of some of these social tools. Now, is that why we're talking about social tools? No, what I'm talking about is the changes that are happening in Gmail, and Google are responding to these changes with email. Google know that a lot of people spend a lot of time in their inboxes, and I'm really against spending too much time in your inbox. Not really something that I think is a great idea. However, Google know that because you've got it open all day, well, they can probably make your life easier so you don't have to switch between different tabs all the time. And so in a moment, I'm going to take you through some of the changes that Google's making to their actual applications, which are going to make things a lot easier for you. And there's some pretty exciting changes that they have implemented.